To have a conversation with ChatGPT, there are two ways. It's probably very obvious to most people. The first one is using a ChatGPT web interface. That's mainly used by non-technology people. You can click on this link, register the account, then you should go ahead and have a conversation with ChatGPT. And the other way to work with ChatGPT is using developer API. You can also create an account and then get the API key. From there, you can write program to interact with the ChatGPT server. This is mainly for developer and product owners to build solutions and product on top of ChatGPT server. Okay, let's move on and talk about when you have a conversation with ChatGPT, there's actually three roles. One is the user role. The user role is the role of the person who asks the question. Second role is called assistant role. It's the role of the ChatGPT that answers your question. So behind the scene of ChatGPT, there's an assistant role that will answer the question. And there's one role which most of us with non-technology people will not interact with the system role. It's a role of the ChatGPT that set the guideline for the system role to answer the question. This role is mostly used when you're using ChatGPT developer API to interact with the ChatGPT server. When you use the web interface, you can also set up that role, but it's kind of difficult to do that. Here's a diagram that depicts the three roles in ChatGPT interaction. A person asks a question to ChatGPT, and the answer coming from the ChatGPT in the assistant role, give the answers back. However, there is a ChatGPT system role. It sets the guideline for the ChatGPT assistant role to give the answers back. If you're using API, you should be able to suggest the guideline for the ChatGPT to get back to you. What are the ChatGPT mainly used for? There are four major use cases for ChatGPT. You can summarize this in four major use cases. Obviously, there are many other use cases as well, but four main ones. The first one is summarize. So ChatGPT can provide you a summary from reviews, product specification, financial statements. For example, you can ask ChatGPT to summarize the reviews on key Lagos Fish Village restaurant with a focus on the seafood quality and service. Second important major use case is extract and infer. What does it mean, extract? Extract is ask ChatGPT to extract topics that's not related to the topic of focus. For example, there's lots of movie reviews for particular theaters. What you can do is to extract the theater's snack quality based on the customer's movie review on that particular theater. That is one of the features that ChatGPT can do by extract out the topics that's not the focus of the customer movie's review. Second one is infer. Infer the sentiment, emotion, and category of the input data. For example, you can see if James happy if Lakers beats them in 2023 playoff based on his text after Game 6. That's infer. Is it happy or is it sad? Third is transform and translate. Transform is based on an input to another format of the output. One important part is, for example, transform the input from JSON to HTML. The second important thing is translate. Translate, all of us know you can translate to different language from English to Spanish. And lastly, ChatGPT in this category can help do the proofread and check the spelling and grammar of the writing. Lastly is expand. This is one of the major features that marketing and ad sales team, ad campaign team are using a lot. It's taking a shorter piece of text and generate a larger piece of text. For example, you can write a thank you letter to each person using the detail of the birthday gift and the card they send it to you and their names. ChatGPT will be able to write personal thank you letter to that particular person based on the gift, so the card from that person. So these are the four major use cases in ChatGPT: summarize, extract and infer, transform and translate, and lastly,